Welcome to Fang's Fable. Strap in and let's start the story. I just had the most insane Lunar New Year of my life. It ended with me flipping a table, getting slapped, and finally realizing I've been the family doormat for over 40 years. Here's how it went down. It was Lunar New Year's Eve, a day meant for family, joy, and reunion. My 70-year-old mother decided it was the perfect time to divide her estate, and she did it right there during the reunion dinner. She gave one apartment each to my two brothers. Then she gifted $28,000 in savings to her precious only grandson, my nephew. That's not all. Both my sisters-in-law and even my nephew's wife each got a thick, shiny gold bracelet. Meanwhile, I, her only daughter, got nothing. Not even a strand of yarn. And then, as if that wasn't enough, she calmly announced, "From now on, Jade will be responsible for taking care of me in my old age." I just stood there like, what? Everyone at the table turned to look at me, smiling, like I'd won the jackpot. I didn't smile back. I slammed down my apron, stood up, and said, "Great! If it's such a good deal, why don't one of you take care of her?" And then I did it. I flipped the New Year's dinner table. Let me rewind just a bit. Earlier that evening, I was still playing the dutiful daughter. I brought out the last dish plate of golden, crispy chicken wings. And my mom pulled out a bright red shopping bag with a famous gold jewelry logo. From it, she took out 3 elegant jewelry boxes. Inside, 3 dazzling pure gold bracelets. "Happy New Year," she said sweetly. "You've all worked hard. These are my gifts for you." She handed the bracelets to my 2 sisters-in-law and my nephew's wife. I, as usual, got nothing. But I held my cool. I poured drinks, set out the wine glasses, smiled politely while everyone else gushed, "Thank you, Mom. Thanks, Grandma." My mom beamed like a blooming chrysanthemum. Then she said it. "I'm 70 now. Time to settle my affairs." She sat upright, proud. "I have 2 apartments and $27,500 in savings. Each son gets a house. The cash goes to my eldest grandson." Everyone applauded. Then she turned to me. "As for me, I'll be living with Jade from now on. After the new year, I'll move in." My younger brother chimed in. "Yeah, Mom and Sis get along the best. Makes sense?" Older brother added, "She's got a $280 pension a month too. Sis won't be losing anything." They all looked at me like I just hit the lottery. That was the moment I snapped. I tore off my apron, slammed it onto the chair, and said, "If it's such a great deal, you take her." Then I picked up the plate of chicken wings, smashed it on the floor. Wings flying, plate cracked. Everyone froze. I picked up another plate, stir-fried potatoes, and slowly tipped it over. The food spilled, another plate shattered. Then I swept my arm across the table. Dishes, bowls, cups, drinks, all crashing to the floor. I grabbed a bottle of wine and hurled it down. It shattered like fireworks. "Eat!" I screamed. "Eat it all! I'm done with this life." All the gourmet dishes I spent 3 days preparing, now just garbage on the floor. And I felt nothing but cathartic rage. Years, decades of bitterness poured out of me. I had quit my job to care for my paralyzed dad for 3 years. I sent money to my mom, worked myself sick, while my own husband and son felt abandoned. My marriage nearly crumbled. We still rent a tiny apartment. While my brothers sat back like royalty, they used me, all of them. My brothers jumped up and grabbed me, each twisting an arm. I was crying, snot pouring down my face. "Apologize to Mom." My brother shouted, "Apologize." I laughed hysterically. "For what?" "For being your free maid. For taking care of our dad while you stuffed your faces. For being the only one who sacrifices while you all get the money and houses." My younger brother frowned. "Come on. Sis daughters usually take care of their parents. You're better at it than us, more patient." I spat. "Then you take care of her. I'm done." My mom screamed, "No, I'm your mother. You want me dead." You know what's funny? She had heart attacks twice, living with my brother, because she clashed with his wife. My sister-in-law is 37, and refuses to have kids. Mom nags her constantly. Still, she got the gold, got the house wax, because Mom thought no matter how badly she treated me, I'd always obey, always love her, always sacrifice. She forgot I'm human, not a tool. When love turns into resentment, there's no coming back, and then boom, she slapped me, twice, hard. Ungrateful child. I should have strangled you when you were born. I was already crying. Those slaps made my ears ring. My brothers didn't even look at me. They rushed to comfort. Mom thought that was it. I laughed. Great. Thanks for the slaps. Now I'm really done. From today on, I have no mother. You have no daughter. She lunged to hit me again. I blocked her. She stumbled back onto the sofa. She howled. This unfilial daughter dares to lay hands on me. My brothers lost it. One kicked me. One slapped me. I fell. Blood dripped from my mouth. I crawled up, opened the door, and left. Outside, the wind was icy. It cut my skin like knives. But my heart hurt even more. This was my family, the people I'd poured myself out for, and they crushed me. I walked home crying. Regret, anger, pain. I opened the door to my own home and finally let it all out. That my husband and son were eating hot pot, watching TV. I collapsed onto the sofa, bawling. They stared at me. My husband finally came over. All these years, I neglected them to please my birth family. My son barely knew me. My husband resented me, and I finally saw how blind I'd been. I told them everything, through sobs and hiccups. My husband's face turned red. What? After all that, they hit you, he snapped. We're going back down. He stormed out. My 16-year-old son followed. I wiped my tears and chased after them. Back at my mom's place, the mess was still on the floor. My mom was still crying. My husband walked in and punched my older brother. My brother staggered. My husband turned and punched my younger brother too. You leeches, he shouted. She gave up everything for you and you hit her. My sister-in-law tried to call the cops. I panicked. I couldn't let it escalate. So I did the only thing I could think of. I faked fainting. My son screamed. My husband carried me out. And that was the moment I finally came home. For real. They rushed me to the hospital in an ambulance. My husband and son never let go of my hands the entire ride. When I finally opened my eyes, they both let out a breath and smiled at me. That was my real family. My true family. The ones who loved me. I whispered a tearful, I'm sorry. And my tears just wouldn't stop. My husband's face was bruised, but I swear, I'd never seen him look so handsome. The hospital did a few checks. Nothing serious. Obviously, it was all for show. But they didn't know that, and frankly, neither did I, until I saw their panic. When we got home, my husband reheated the hot pot. We finally had a real family New Year's Eve. Just the three of us. And that night, something in me changed. I was done being the sacrificial lamb. My heart hardened. Not out of hate, but for survival. Not one person from my birth family called or texted to check on me after I was taken away by ambulance. Probably afraid I'd sue them. Good. I needed the peace. I decided from that day forward, I would pour every ounce of my love and energy into my real family, my husband and son. My son was in 11th grade. I started making nutritious meals for him daily. I paid attention to every detail of his life. Slowly but surely, the wall between us crumbled. Same with my husband. For years, I had ignored him, putting my brothers and mom first. Now, he smiled more. He handed over his full paycheck without hesitation. Finally using your brain, he said one night. If you had gone along with your mom, our family would have fallen apart. We started planning for the future. First goal, buy a home. Housing prices in our small county were about $700 square meter. We found a 120 square meter place with 3 rooms and a sunny balcony perfect for our family. Total cost about $91,000. My husband had saved about $21,000. I sold some gold jewelry I'd inherited from my in-laws during my wedding and brought in another $7,000. That covered the down payment. We borrowed another $10,000 from friends for renovations and moved in. From then on, we worked our butts off. My husband drove rideshare after work. I worked as a cashier during the day and helped a friend's night snack shop in the evenings. My son studied hard, getting ready for college. 1 year later, we moved into our new home. We laughed, we danced. My husband even popped a bottle of champagne. My son posted a smiling family photo on social media. But then just 2 days later, my mom came back. My brothers dropped her off at my door. It was a weekend morning. My husband and I had stayed up late the night before and were still in bed. My son had gone out early for tutoring. I heard knocking, thought maybe our son forgot something. I opened the door, groggy, and there they were. My mom, my older brother, my younger brother, and a pile of luggage. They pushed their way in like they owned the place. My mom looked around, nice place, good lighting. My brother wandered into the study. This could be her room, he called out. I stood there in silence, watching, letting them dig their own grave. My mom nodded, a bit small, but decent. Then my brother turned to me, arms crossed. Jade, Mom can't get used to living with us. She should live here. Oh, I said. So none of you want her anymore. My younger brother frowned. Don't be like that, sis. Mom loves you. She insisted on coming here. I snorted, because she wore out her welcome. Right. My older brother cleared his throat awkwardly. Mom already gave us her houses. She just wants to be with her children now. I clapped. So, you got the houses, and kicked her out. Got it. My brother turned red. Watch your mouth. My younger brother waved him off. Not the time. Sis, Mom's been rotating between our homes this past year. It's been rough. She says she feels most comfortable with you, so here she is. I smiled coldly. Right. When she was giving out gold bracelets and apartments, I was just a daughter. Now she needs care. Suddenly, I'm her favorite. My mom's face darkened. What? You're still holding a grudge over 2 slaps. Tears welled in my eyes. From that day on, I no longer had a mother or brothers. She gasped. You're kicking me out. She pulled out her pension card. I'm not asking for free. I have a pension. $280 a month. Before I could speak, the bedroom door swung open. My husband stepped out, face like a thundercloud. Keep it. Even if it was $20,000, we don't want it. Get out. Go live with your precious sons. He grabbed her bags and tossed them outside. My mom's face turned purple. Speechless. My brother yelled, How dare you? Is this how a son-in-law behaves? My husband didn't flinch. You people who don't share burdens don't deserve respect. He turned to them both. One of you took $7,000 from Jade for a down payment. The other took $11,000. Meanwhile, we scraped every penny to buy this place. And now you want to dump her here? I lowered my head, ashamed it was true. I'd secretly given the money behind my husband's back. Like an idiot, he looked at my mom again. When your husband was paralyzed, only Jade quit her job to take care of him for 3 years. You know how we survived. I had to be both dad and mom to our son while working 2 jobs. My older brother scoffed. That's ancient history, who cares? My husband pointed to the door. I care, now leave. My mom looked at me, desperate. I turned away. She growled. Fine, don't call me your mother anymore. My husband smirked. Deal. They left, slammed the door. 6 months later, my friend and her husband moved to another city and offered to sell their night snack shop for just $14,000. I'd been helping there and learned the ropes. Business was steady. I wanted it badly, but we didn't have the money. My friend said I could pay in installments over 18 months. I cried with joy, signed the papers, quit my supermarket job, and went all in. We trimmed staff, cut costs. I cooked. My husband ran the grill. Business boomed, especially with our opening promos. Within a year, we paid off the $14,000 and saved another $7,000. My husband even took early retirement to help full-time. But life was good. Until one summer evening, just as the sun was setting and the restaurant was filling up, I walked out of the kitchen with a dish only to see an elderly woman collapse to her knees in front of me. My mother, behind her. My two brothers. My mom was thinner. Her white hair made her look so frail, her cane had fallen. "Jade," she wailed, "I beg you, don't abandon your mother." I froze. Customers gasped. Phones came out. I tried to lift her up. Double quotes, "Mom, please. Let's talk inside." She clung to my legs. "If you don't take me in, I'll die." I looked at my brothers. What the hell is this? They ignored me. Instead, they turned to the crowd. "She abandoned our mother." One yelled. "We were busy working and didn't realize she'd been kicked out." "She used to be Mom's favorite," the other chimed in. "And now look what she's done." The crowd started murmuring. My husband stormed out. "She gave you the houses and money. Now you want to dump her on us again." As soon as he said houses and money, my mom started wailing louder. She dropped to the floor and began bowing. "If you don't take me in, I won't get up," she shouted. She clung to my legs. Guests watched. Phones flashed. I was drowning in humiliation. She clung to my legs. Guests watched. Phones flashed. I was drowning in humiliation. My husband shoved my brothers aside. "How could you be so heartless? She gave up her life for you." A staff member, worried things would escalate, called the police. Next thing we knew, we were all hauled into a squad car and taken to the police station. The officers heard us out and called in community workers to mediate. That's when the truth came out, what my mother's life had been like since she split up her assets. Apparently, right after she handed the houses to my brothers, they quickly transferred ownership and began renting them out. My younger brother's house brought in over $14,000 in rent annually. My older brother was envious. His property was still occupied by Mom, so they pressured her to move out, promising she could split time between their homes. They rented her unit too. Every cent counted. At first, she lived at my older brother's for 6 months. His wife hated her, and the household was full of chaos. But she endured. Then it was my younger brother's turn. But within 2 months, things fell apart. His wife resented Mom for giving their son the $28,000. She insisted Mom go live with the grandson instead. But the grandson had just gotten married. They were focused on each other. No way were they letting up. "Grandmother, move in." My mother was shuffled back and forth. She cried constantly. One night, after a fight with my older brother's wife, she grabbed her luggage and stormed out to my younger brother's home. It was dark. She tripped into a roadside ditch. A kind stranger helped her to the hospital, but she had injured her leg. Now she walked with a cane. With their own homes on the verge of explosion, my brothers made a last-ditch effort, drop her on my doorstep, beg me to take her in. The community worker turned to me. "She's still your mom. Why not forgive her and let her stay?" I almost relented, but then I remembered that New Year's Eve, the gold, the slaps, the betrayal. "No, a married daughter is like water poured out," I said. "I want nothing to do with my birth family anymore." The worker frowned. "That's outdated thinking. Daughters are daughters forever. You still have a duty to care for her." I held firm. "You haven't lived my life. You don't know what it's like to be discarded and then expected to sacrifice. When love becomes one-sided abuse, we owe nothing." They turned to my brothers. "You each got a house worth $110,000. You can't take her in." My brothers flatly refused. "Our homes are war zones already. We can't do it anymore." "Nobody wants her," one of them said. "What? Now leave her on the street." Eventually, the community offered a solution, a public nursing home. It cost $420 a month. My mother's pension covered $280. The rest, $140, would be split among the 3 of us. I agreed to pay $28. That was it. My mother objected, but her opinion didn't matter anymore. Nobody wanted her. Even though she had given each of her sons a property, neither had room for her. So they checked her in. We wired our shares monthly to the nursing home. I never visited, never called. Why? Because right there in the police station, in front of officers and community workers, my mother declared, I gave my house and money to my sons and grandson. I have no regrets. Great, then live with that. My life finally quieted down. 3 years later, my husband and I opened a second snack shop. Business was booming. Our son was in college. We repaid all debts and paid off the mortgage early. We even had about $14,000 in savings, nothing huge, but for us, a symbol of independence and hard-earned peace. 5 years passed. We grew from snack vendors to respected restaurateurs in our small town. As for my brothers, things didn't go so well. My older brother's one true love was alcohol. Years of drinking left him a wreck. By his early 50s, he was suffering from alcohol poisoning. He had slurred speech, trembling hands, and eventually, partial paralysis. His wife, who already had a bad back, couldn't care for him for long. She ended up bedridden herself. Their son and daughter-in-law didn't help. In fact, they resented the old couple for being useless now. No more babysitting, no help around the house. They gave them cold stares whenever they visited. Funny how karma works. The way they treated their parents was exactly how their own kids ended up treating them. As for my younger brother and his wife, it was even worse. They lived for luxury non-stop vacations, fancy meals, reckless spending. Then they got into gambling. Not only did they lose the apartment our mom gave them, but also the one they originally lived in. Now they're drowning in debt and hiding somewhere out of town. No one's heard from them. I only found out because neither of them had paid their $56 share for our mom's care in months. The nursing home called me, asking for the full $140. I sighed, and I paid it. These days, $140 a month is nothing to me. I treated it like a donation to charity, but I only did it for 3 months. Then, I got the call. My mother had passed away. I didn't go, even in death. I didn't want to see her. I didn't attend the funeral. I just transferred money to cover all burial expenses and asked the nursing home to take care of the arrangements. Her beloved sons and grandson, not a single one showed up. I didn't either. That was her choice. That was her path. I let her walk it to the end. And then, it was another lunar New Year's Eve. Outside, firecrackers cracked. Snow fell gently. I stood at the window, watching it all. And for a moment, I remembered that New Year's Eve so many years ago, the one that shattered everything. But I smiled, because that night was the beginning of my rebirth. That pain gave me clarity, that rage gave me freedom, and the woman I became afterward. She's the strongest, happiest version of me. Thank you, past self. And goodbye forever to the woman who gave me life, but never love.